So today we're going to talk about the top things that you need to keep in mind before you show up to closing. So today is going to be the most exciting day for your customers. Your buyers are very excited to close on their home, and today is the day that you get paid. But before we worry about any of that, we need to make sure that your customers are protected and you can secure a clear closing. So the first thing you need to do is talk to the lender. Call the lender and make sure that the closing package has arrived at title and they're going to have the wire prepared so the closing could fund with no hitches. Now, a lot of times lenders will kind of wait for the last minute to secure the closing or the closing package to title. And even once they secure a full closing package, your buyer still needs several days to review all the documents before they can actually close on the transaction. So you want to make sure that the lenders are on top of it and that they have this secured prior to closing, at least several days before closing. Now, the other thing that you need to worry about is whether or not the home is in the condition that it was in when your initial contract was accepted. Now, you go back to the property with your customer either the day before or the day of closing, and you do what's called a walkthrough. Now, when you go through the property, you want to keep in mind, are the items that are in the home today the same items that were in the home when we executed a purchase contract? So you want to keep an eye and be mindful, is this the same fridge? Did the movers make any scratches or holes in the wall when moving their property out of the home? And you also want to take a look around and make sure that the sellers didn't take any appliances like ceiling fans. That's usually a big one. You'll notice chandeliers or ceiling fans missing from the home, and sometimes it's an honest mistake. Sometimes the movers took something without asking the sellers if it was going to stay with the property or it was going with them. So by taking an inventory of the property before the closing, you can go back to the sellers and say, hey, we can't close because several items are missing, or the home has been damaged by the movers, or you might even go back and see that the pool hasn't properly been maintained, or maybe the grass has died or hasn't been cut. Same thing with the shrubbery and bushes. The home has to be maintained in the same condition as when the contract was accepted. So during the inspection period, the buyer may find some things wrong with the home that they ask the seller to repair or fix prior to closing. So usually you don't find out if these items have been fixed or repaired until you do your walkthrough. So make sure to go back with your repairs request addendum and make sure that these items have properly been fixed, maintained, or replaced before you go to closing. That way, if some items haven't been fixed or replaced, then you can negotiate that these items be cared for before closing, or you can negotiate that the seller provide credits to your buyer at the time of closing. That way, once your buyers move into the home, it doesn't become an issue where it's now their problem and they cannot go back to the sellers to fix these items. Remember, at closing, once they sign the final closing statement, they're accepting the home and the deal is done. Now, at the closing, you want to make sure everything goes smoothly. So you want to make sure that you arrive earlier than your customers do, so you can talk to the title agents and make sure they have everything that they need, and you can welcome your customers as they come to the title company for closing. On top of that, you may also want to make sure that they have a closing package that you've provided to them. Now, in this packet, I would include homeowners association information, lawn care information, pool care information, local utility companies. That way, when your buyers move into the home, they have a nice worksheet of all the proper appliances or appliance caretakers or warranties that transfer from the homeowners to the new buyers. It just kind of makes everything a little easier. Plus, it makes your life easier as a realtor because your customers aren't calling you after they move into the home asking you a million questions. Now, of course, the home is closed and your customers are very excited. They just bought a new home. This is the perfect opportunity for you to approach them and ask if they'll leave a positive review for you online. Whether you want them to leave a review for you on your Facebook, Google, Zillow, Realtor.com, that's up to you. But getting them to leave that review right then and there at the closing table is going to be your best opportunity to get the positive review and comments that you need for your business to grow. So have you ever had a closing nightmare? Have you ever had something happen before closing where you didn't know what to do or how to handle? If you have an interesting story, please comment below and subscribe to our page and make sure you watch our other videos if you want more content just like this. Until then, we'll see you next time.